This is yours?
Yes.
What's that? I'll have to take a while to pack on the stuff, eh? I'll pick up the envelope after this white car pass. Email envelope, stamped, not sealed, and I open it. And I read the letter. And this is what the letter said. True story.
This for me.
Auntie Doris, don't mind what Uncle say. Don't come to Trinidad for Christmas. If you insist, dear sweet Auntie Doris, come for Carnival on your bumble bus. Carnival are strange, and I say for the worse, because you never can feel that thrill of what once was. Auntie, listen to me. You will think that you are in Brazil. No more historical costumes. One chord music, not even in tune. Auntie, you will be surrounded by nudity. No creativity. The reality is waste. Auntie, make haste. Auntie, come down and wind your waist. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you why he's laughing. Why is Professor Liverpool laughing? Let me tell you why. That's his song. Except I had to change some of the lyrics to bring in Brazil and stuff. So, Professor, excuse me. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It all started with a fever. You come late and you're using phone?
Imagine that. What example is that?
I forgot our wonderful introducer should have said, throwing on his cell phone. As I was trying to say, it all started with a fever. As Christmas tapered off, calypsos would be heard playing on the radio. Then the different mass camp banners were erected, announcing their respective themes for Monday and Tuesday Carnival. The stores displayed the costumes, the materials, after conferring with the band leaders, of course, as to that band's requirements. The fever grew, taking root, somewhat akin to shopping for Christmas. People discussed which band leader bringing what. Steel bands started in earnest, adding to the atmosphere. The fever escalated as the population gathered themselves into preparation. Plans were made by the roadside vendors. All this time, calypso is in the air. One could have felt the energy. Calmness and enthusiasm went out the window. There was music and color everywhere. Yeah, there was music and color everywhere. Calypso dominated the airwaves because the population knew that comes midnight on Carnival Tuesday night, all calypso singing was outlawed. But it wasn't against the law, but it was frowned upon for the endurance of the Lenten season. One dare not hum or whistle or even sing a calypso during Lent. The Catholic Church made it wrong if we sang a calypso, and that impacted very adversely on the calypsonians, because come Tuesday midnight, no calypso. And at the end of the 40 days, Who really cares? So the Calypsonian got hurt in the pocket, except for those visitors who bought the 78s in those days, down to the 45s, down to the 32s. Now we have flash drive again. Before Ash Wednesday was upon us, all man Jack felt the symptoms, masterfully articulated by Mr. Alwyn Roberts, the Lord Kitchener. Tell she move if she full. Tell me girl to get some rum, she must bring it fast. When it reach her drink it all and I break the glass. He said for the doctor, my doctor broke. Well, the doctor showed nothing to allow about these symptoms. You'll get your symptoms. I'm crazy. Symptoms, you'll get your these symptoms. Strictly, somebody help me. Symptoms, you'll get your these symptoms. Don't know what, why you should say so. Symptoms, you'll get your these symptoms. Quickly, somebody help me. Hey! Yeah! These symptoms, you're catching these symptoms. Hold me. Do you think I'm crazy? Symptoms, they get you these symptoms. Somebody help me. Leave the house like a hurry, go down, my head is bad. My favorite line, guitar in hand and I down the road like a staring mad. Meet a girl in front, I low, well I grab she hand. I say, darling, let we wind our story inside the van. She say, Mr. Kitchener, I will predict. Well, you're either sick or you are a lunatic. These symptoms, you'll get you these symptoms. Hold me, they think I'm crazy. Symptoms, they get you these symptoms. Simply because I'm happy. Symptoms, they get you these symptoms. Quickly, somebody help me. Symptoms, you're catching these symptoms. And there is my favorite verse, which with a little interference, but I like to sing it for you a cappella, because I love that verse. As soon as this guitar man stops. My favorite verse is, in the street I tell a taxi I want a drop, making sure that he drop me by a record shop. When I reach a beg them please, so you start to play. Then I come down on my knees and I didn't go there. A couple young ladies whispering behind, like a jumpy mine.
Put it on the mic. Put it on the mic. Put it on the mic.
You happy now?
We are happier. You won't get the poop 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 poop.
Well, Kitchener giving us symptoms of Carnival. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get to it. because before you know it, time runs away with us. The Trinbago Carnival provided a striking record of mass participation in what used to be the greatest annual theatrical spectacle of all time. From a total population of 1.3 million people, more than 250,000 citizens appear in masquerade bands year after year. They paraded the streets, dancing, singing, and miming the assumed characters to the accompaniment of music that was produced from oil drums. The revellers used to be followed by thousands of supporters in everyday dress who were fully involved in the carnival performance as the elaborately costumed principals. During the daytime, the rest of the population used to stay resigned to the passive role of spectators. By sundown, they jumped in the streets to the pan rhythms, their identities partly obscured by the mask of the tropical evening. To the stranger, Carnival is a breathtaking experience, not least because of the polygenetic character of the participants. When, on August 31st, 1962, the people of Trinidad and Tobago became an independent nation, they had endured more than a century and a half of British colonial rule. In that time, Trinidad, the senior partner of the two-island nation, became possibly the most cosmopolitan country for its size anywhere in the world. With a population descended from people of Africa, India, China, several European countries, the Middle East, and North and South America, Trinidad and Tobago have produced one festival that has so caught the imagination of its multiracial people that they contribute voluntarily to its annual celebration at a great personal cost and effort. The cost in man-hours of unpaid labor expended in planning and organizing masquerade bands and building costumes. Who remember building costumes? Back in the day, people used to build costumes. I remember once Coffee Street, mask coming down, one big costume. They got this lodge, one of the attachments on top, and they have to come up to our gallery to bring the mask near the gallery so the masquerader could fix it. When last we see building costumes? Now we're seeing costumes that fit in an envelope. The money value of materials expended on a two-day carnival and subsequently discarded on Carnival Tuesday night has been conservatively estimated at the peak of around $20 million. Ironically, we read where they're begging, NCC begging for money. NCC wants $165 million. NCC don't know that there are people in this country without indoor plumbing. NCC don't know there are people without lights. Because come Tuesday, where that $167 million come? More important than cost is the national exuberance unleashed at Carnival time. Ethnic and social divisions in multicolored Trinidad and Tobago society were submerged under a national will to make each successive carnival the greatest ever. Now tell me, audience participation is encouraged. Is Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago still the greatest show on earth?
No.
No way.
I agree.
It's a festival of flesh.
Thank you. Toronto, Boston, Caribana. I've been to Caribana. I'm sure most of you here have been to Caribana. England have Notting Hill. New York have the Carnival. Carnival hit Germany. Carnival in Los Angeles. It dwarfs Trinidad and Tobago. Brazil. You heard him, man. It saddens me, but what can you do? Dear folks, what can you do? Every year, I fail in my attempts to muster some excitement for Carnival. And I will digress here. And I don't mean to embarrass anybody. But this Carnival, I have lost it. I'll tell you why. Because the thief jogged us. Folks, imagine there's a school over there, a grand school. And they have a class, and they give the class a test. So, of course, somebody had to come first. So the first 9 students, 9 highest marks. They take the 9 students and put them with students of another school and give them the same test. They knew the questions. They walk into the room with the questions. 1 + 1 is how much, Mr. Dublin? 2. They walk in knowing the questions. Imagine when the exam get marked, the 1 to 9 came last. That is what happened to Jordas and 8 others. Jordas got the highest of all the 10s. Is there any justice there?
Couldn't it have been questioned? Couldn't you have asked for the sheets and...
Well, that's in the works. That's in the works. So I lost my enthusiasm years ago when I saw the National Festival heading down a one-way street, pell-mell, as the old people say, at breakneck speed. I hasten to add that I am aware that in some twisted, ironic way, it is sacrilegious to criticize Carnival. I will proceed in any case because Carnival is doomed to remain stagnant without some constructive criticism. Be aware that I am now going to speak to you folks in broad, sweeping statements to establish my points. Naturally, there are exceptions to what I am going to say. I contend, however, that they are few and far between. First of all, let's face the unequivocal fact that Carnival rivals Christmas as a death-inducing observance. Over the years, Carnival costumes have become skimpier, but the cost of costumes keep rising. This I am at pains to fathom. At what other time of the year do you celebrate getting less and less for your money? This is not the fault of the Carnival bands, you know. Even I know enough economics to realize that the cost of a product relies on supply and demand. The fault lies directly at the feet of the masqueraders, who happily fork out money for costumes, as I said, that don't seem to fit in an envelope. That's right. Say that louder for the crowd to hear you. What you said, ma'am?
They go to the banks to get a loan.
Yeah, Island Finance. Island Finance say what? You're able to pay. Come by me. But Island Finance don't tell you when Ash Wednesday come, you have to give me back here. And Trinis are so gullible. It saddens me. Costumes are good for either Monday or Tuesday. No longer. The costumes don't always last through the day. Many masqueraders, and I have personally seen this in Port of Spain, find themselves at makeshift seamstress stalls on the side of the road to repair their costumes. The simple truth is that if people do not demand more for their money, they end up cheating themselves. What is this? Who is this? And they will take this as a joke. You have it? Mark Wellington. Mr. Mark Wellington was once the Deputy Chief Magistrate. And those of you who know him will be able to relate to what I'm telling you. A Carnival Monday. I used to work for Carnival Monday. I get into that too. Mark Wellington presided. And a fella, muscular fella like Mr. James here, crying Carnival Monday. He got arrested this Saturday. And he cried. He said, Mr. Wellington, oh God, I spent $6,000 on the costume for tomorrow. Oh God, sir, have a heart. Yeah, Mark Wellington. Boy, them costumes is the same every year. Keep it till next year. You say I'll see you Tuesday. The man missing Carnival. That the money masqueraders pay for the costumes is no one's business but the person who's paying for the costume. That is true. I argue that the business of Carnival is putting a chokehold on Carnival's creativity. Albert Gomes, may he rest in peace, said, give Carnival back to the people. There really doesn't seem to be much incentive to waste time and effort on creativity. If you can talk women into parading down the road almost nude. Body paint. On the other hand, I would argue that people should learn some sense about spending money wisely. I am certain that many people go in debt for months to pay for their costumes. If good sense is supposed to prevail, the rest of the year, we could argue that it would prevail at Carnival too. Then there is the music. When last you see Pan on you? But we hear it, boom-a-lai, 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 jai-jai, boom-a-lai, boom. Crap! We complain about poor judging and we grumble for years that the competition has killed the Calypso. But what has been done to rectify the problem? We have Chalkdust, we have Valentino, we have the black man, may he recover very soon. We have Sparrow. Sparrow can walk. When we lose them icons, better later than now. We have nothing, folks. Akron, Ohio say they own Pan, you know. Akron, Ohio. I remember back in the day, people used to wait for the movies to come, the epics. Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, Lawrence of Arabia, to make their mass. So, down Coffee Street, you're seeing the chariots coming down. You're seeing our Moses that's about 50 feet tall, holding the tablets. That don't happen anymore. This picture I showed earlier, what does this depict? You could call that anything. You could call that a walk down Coffee Street. You could call that Manzanilla Beach. Today, there have been epics. I remember back in the day, a movie To Hell and Back. Audie Murphy life story, World War II. They bring that. Military mass, used to thousands of people. The irony, back in the day, was Audie Murphy was America's most decorated hero. I don't know if you all are familiar with that story, Tell them back. They played To Hell and Back. I think it was Free French. And they wanted a white boy to play Audie Murphy. White people didn't play mass in them days. They had to go presentation college and beg a sixth former to come and sit down on the tank. The end of the movie, Audie Murphy gets on a tank and he decimates a German company. And this poor white boy, he looked frightened. I remember seeing him Coffee Street. He sit down behind the makeshift tank. And he just looking. Tell them that now. Go up on block and tell them that now. Give Carnival back to the people. What happened to Dunkirk? Dunkirk was a movie about 3 years ago. Epic. Black Panther. Would I make a great mass? Avatar. Would I make a great mass?
Sex.
You said it, sir. Separating the Calypso and Soca Monarch competition was not the answer. Now we have two competitions that guzzle money and spit out prizes for a lot of bad music. It gets me annoyed every time I hear, hello, 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 hello. God, people, come on. I listen to this Savannah Grass. A term which he took from Professor Liverpool, Savannah Grass. It's good to touch Savannah Grass. What is that? Marshall Monday. Oh God, people. Today is Marshall Monday. The soca monarch competition sacrifices lyrics for music and the mistaken belief that the energy of soca comes from a frantic tempo and a list of inane, mind-numbing, stupid orders to jump and wave. Soca is stuck in a rut. Kenrick Headley, who is Harold Headley's brother, and Harold Headley arranged for Exodus once upon a time, told me soca is a 4/4 rock beat that people could dance to. The minute calypso come with the syncopation, you're lost. And a very good example, I had a band in Canada, and I recruited white music students to play. We accompanied Baron and Crazy one year they came up. The year Crazy sang Sapni Sokaya. That was the year. Yeah. Thank you. And I'm telling this guy on the brass section, I want you to play, the song was Carnival Night of Moving with Diane, papa, para, para, pop. Around town we looking for action, papa, da, da, para, pop. So I tell him, look, I do the vocals. Carnival time of moving with Diane, papa, para, para, pop. I want to hear that. You know what I mean? Carnival time of moving with Diane, pop, 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 para, para, pop. What you call it? The syncopation just get them. And calypso is a derivative of jazz. And jazz is syncopation. So when we lose calypso, when they can't handle it, all for nothing. As I say, I am glad I am the age that I am, because I experienced seeing Chocolates. I experienced seeing Sparrow. Who can beat Sparrow singing 69? Who can beat that? Who can beat Sparrow singing Swordfish? We can't get that anymore unless you go on YouTube, and I don't think it's on YouTube. Obia, when you could beat Lord Kitchener singing Pan in A minor. When Pan in A minor came out, I was in Canada at the time. And in them days, it wasn't fax and email and what you call it, flash drive, you know. My mother, bless her heart, used to send the LPs in the mail. Yes. Who you know LPs? Right. I listened to Pan in A minor. And in them days, long distance calls were expensive. You don't have WhatsApp and that. I wrote the Lord Kitchener, Panorama Palace, Diego Martin. And I told the Lord Kitchener, I just heard Pan in A minor. And that you, Mr. Kitchener, had to be touched by the finger of God to write that. You know Kitchener write me back. I have the letter. I treasure it. Kitchener write me, I am provoked by what you say. I have that letter, and again, I treasure it. The point, folks, is not losing it. I will quote him again, I hope he doesn't mind. The day that me and Duke resign, the thing will only turn to jam and wine.
Yes.
And thank you. And folks, as I said, I thank the Almighty. I experience Calypso and its performers. Terror. I met Terror one day. And Terror, he was sick, poor fella. And I went with my guitar for him to sign, which he did. And he sent down Bomber, who lived here, say from here to the wall, distance-wise. Bomber was there. But Terror didn't know me. There's a joke about the Terror which Professor Liverpool knows the picture. The picture took a Terror skill apart. Anyway, Terror watching me. He had a bad eye. And he said, what is your favorite Terror college? It's the really fast laugh, you know. I said, no. He said, what one? I took my guitar. And I strike a D minor. And I went, Desperados, And I went, all stars and Tokyo, and terror jumped.
Yes.
I have a witness in the back there. And terror turned to Baba, and I gone again. So symphony. Wait on company. A lot of applause. That is audience participation. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Terror jump when I went down. All stars on Tokyo. And I'm playing in D minor. I'm going to end it. La da da de. La mama di be da ba la zi de bo we lai. Terror turned to Baba and he said there's another terror in town. Memories like that, you can't buy them, folks.
No.
You cannot buy them. Last time we here, Professor Liverpool. Are you picking on here? Are you picking on here? Professor Liverpool sat right here. And I played a song, I had the lyrics right in his music stand, and he turned to me, he said, I have sang this at 42 years. 10 years old, 1972. And Professor Liverpool had to read his own stuff off my chart. Folks, them days. Another time, Professor Liverpool on the stage, and he's singing Ash Wednesday Jail. And he hit them a special verse that he extempored. Ash Wednesday Jail was about 83 or 84? 83. 3 or 4 Christmases ago, I told Professor Liverpool, what's that verse you sang in the Savannah? He said, you know, I make it up that time. He said, oh, I know. I said, listen to the verse. I can't afford to let the police hold me. John said to Marilyn, because this year I can't find a damn JP. They all out fretting. The match for Sunday night, I must be there to hear Invaders first man playing through it to get like when kitchen nothing go there. The joke is, Professor Liverpool in his house, he said, say it again, sing it again, sing it again. Because he couldn't remember it. Because he extemporated it. Luckily, my brother Andrew videotaped it for me. The march grab, and I got it. And on that program, Professor Liverpool gave the world that verse. I bet you didn't remember that verse. You see? So we lose air. Nice to see you. We're losing it, folks. In the savannah, look what they do to the North Stand. Oh God. Who are they pleasing? They get rid of the North Stand. And that is my theory, folks. You came to hear my theory, and you heard the disclaimer. And my theory is this. My theory is this. Who wants to hear my theory? My theory is this. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian constructed the first carnival stage in the Queen's Park Savannah in 1919. And it was named the Savannah Stage. In 2019, 100 years later, we look at how that significant milestone in our history set the stage and defined the space for creativity, spirit, and energy. A woman says she went in the new area now, and she had to sit down on her cooler for the whole of the panorama. They get rid of the North Star. I don't know why. Government must keep out of Carnival is my theory. You may or may not agree. Not a cent they say for Calypso tents. One has to agree wholeheartedly that not a damn cent of our hard-earned taxpayers' dollars should be wasted. $167 million NCC get. What's that? Mismanaging Carnival into Bacchanal. Mama, this is mass. It's just about ban after ban, you know. The mass is the Bacchanal. And again to Bacchanal. The Jandy in the Carnival Fair. Well, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. Many times when we form a judgment of people's actions, whether it is the clothes they wear, the music that they listen to, or their lifestyle, it is influenced by many other factors personal to us. And many people really question why they feel strongly about some issues versus others. When I heard about the Marshall Montano episode, I was tempted to ignore it. Mainly because I'm tired of the old adage, my religion is being desecrated. I figured that if we were so focused on desecration of religion, we should be talking defiance of the 10 Commandments. When a murder is committed or when we accept corruption, as may both be coming from two different angles of perception. As an artist, Marshall Montano alone knows why he chose to sing Hindu devotional songs at a Carnival fair in Chabonas. My hypothesis is that what Montano did was articulate what he assumed to be one identity of a Chabonas crowd. But the audience spoke and reminded him that a fair wasn't the place for bhajans and they were not in the mood. Only remember when he was Blue Boy at the time? Super Blue sang Soca Baptist?
Yes,
Yeah,
Soca
yeah.
Baptist.
Remember the backlash?
Yes.
That was spiritual explanation.
Yeah?
Yes.
That was spiritual explanation.
Alright, well, let's not go there. We here to have a good time. I hear what you say. But when he sang the words Hindu priests raping school children and all, Scrunta, that came up, save the number. Take the number. Something wrong, folks. Something is definitely wrong. Now, revelers warned all courts closed for Carnival. Oh, you have to behave, eh?
Yeah.
Behave yourself. Because in the words of Chokdas, you can't get bail till Ash Wednesday. On Saturday, February 16, 2019, the Guardian revealed that the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago stated that all magistrates' courts will be closed on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. That means that the population had to behave.
Yeah.
Well, they had to behave. No bottle pelting or steel band clashing, just mass and music. Who's here?
Sparrow.
Very good. No bottle pelting or steel band clashing, just mass and music. Regardless of where your band come from, just behave in public.
1972.
I wanted all them Sancho and Django. This year won't be so. Folks, Carnival is a builder. And again, I have to go with the scandals, the mass. When they come here, Mama, this is mass, you thought we'd have Kalicharan people jumping up here? No! The mass is the bacchanal. And before I forget, let us say a silent prayer for Roland St. George. You were in England at the time. Asami Nagakia.
Yes.
A Japanese young lady who was killed at Queen's Park, Savannah,
Yes.
three carnivals ago.
Yes.
Dr. Cliff Alexis, you know him, Professor? Right. He flew the flag, the TT flag, overseas. He was a patriot down to his socks. These folks are deceased, but I also included Leslie Lucky Samaru. I'll tell you why. No, not because she's my cousin.
I know.
Family,
You say, what, George?
Miss family.
Rose said, I was George said, no, 23 times.
Yes.
Leslie Lucky Samaru for years owned international recording. Professor, you know him. And contrary to popular belief, in 1963, Leslie Lucky Samaru convinced Kitchener to come back. It wasn't Sparrow. I got that from the horse's mouth. Leslie Lucky Samaru. Yes, and Sparrow used to record with them. He's not well, he's well into his 80s. poor fellow, but he kept his hair though.
I hear you.
Very good, Hollis. We have 3 Hollises here. You, Professor Liverpool, and my son. But he's in my heart. He's in Canada right now. He is Hollis. And I'm proud to say, Professor Liverpool is his godfather.
Wow. Wow.
Let me get into some scandal. Will you want some scandal, Bacchanal?
Yeah. That's what Carnival is about.
As Sparrow say, I love Bacchanal. These are bookends. Kitchener. And Kitchener is supporting Rose, Chalkner, Sparrow, Explainer, Blakey, and Tara. I picked those because, with time permitting, you'll be hearing some songs from these stalwarts. When you heard one, Botanti Doris. The well-traveled France-born hotelier, Hilton Trinidad's Conference Center General Manager, Mr. Olivier Montmer, said recently, quote, I've been to many carnivals in the world, but I think this one is really particular because you feel the essence of a culture. People participate. It's not just a show where you sit and you watch. I was very impressed in 2018 going to fets and seeing how people behave and enjoy without getting into fights or whatever. For me, I call him Mau Mau. His name is Momer. Continues, it is a little like Christmas season in other countries where all of a sudden people become nice. End of quote. What nerve this man has. Has Mau Mau ever gotten off his pinnacle to go Charlotte Street? Has he ever spoken to sidewalk vendors who catch in their nan to make a living? Does Mau Mau even know where Charlotte Street is? Mau Mau in Hilton. And Carnival is like that. People are in another mood. Everyone happy and nobody sleeps. That's Mau Mau. Everybody happy and nobody sleeps. Oh God. He says Trinidad culture has to do with food and art and with live entertainment. If that's the case, food, art, and live entertainment, then why the hell review had to close last year? That is why Mau Mau started art at Hilton. So when you want to see Trinidad art, you have to go to Hilton Hotel. Yeah. Not at the Brothers and them stall down Frederick Street. I don't know, folks. I know they didn't come together. Another Bacchanal had Sandals Tobago. If that deal was sealed, the resort would have had to pay the parent company hefty fees in Uncle Sam dollars. This would have been for the use of name and management of the facilities. It would also have had to pay in foreign currency the salaries of all management and other personnel hired by Sandals. Similar contracts exist with Hyatt and Hilton International. So while there is absolutely nothing wrong with pursuing tourism, especially in the sister island, we must be mindful of the pitfalls. And this is the thing. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, goodness, I'm sorry to be late.
Or should I say good night? How are you doing? I understand. Losing Sandals may well be a blessing, folks. Undisguised. Let the private sector own and operate such enterprises. Do I get an amen for that?
Yeah.
More Bacchanal. Where you going? Miss Lady? Where you going? You going to look for Sandals? Thanks for coming. We know what happened to Croco. You know what happened to Croco. Croco is not on my Christmas card list. But when I see something obscure, I call it that. We all know Croco wrote this calypso and he mentioned the N-word into it. And the N-word is what got a lot of people, as the English people say, the knickers were in the twist. darling,
Same place.
say no, cause I'm ready to shake my waist. Try and understand, I don't leave the honky man. And I want a big nigga man to jump up in the band.
What you say?
Sparrow said that.
1973.
Did Sparrow get condemned? Don't come back again, nigga man, don't come back again. Don't come back again, nigga man, don't come back again. After you walk about and you spoil my name, you want to come back again. Kitchener was forced to change that too. Don't come back again, Obia man, don't come back. What nonsense is that? Tara, Chinese children calling me daddy. The child eyes so cheeky. Right. And Blakey had to change it. What to tell for so? A coolie man selling bread, say, oh that God me going dead. He changed it to an Indian man. Because Blakey saw he was testing the waters. So again, you all will have your opinion about the crocodile incident, and I'm leaving it there. For Carnival 1919, the then government tried to silence those who raised hell as mass makers by curtailing their acts of resistance, such as whining, playing the bottle and spoon, tambu bamboo, stick fighting, and all other forms of expressions that mocked the planter class of the time. At this moment, I now juxtapose Juve of 2019. That was 1919, 100 years hence. Exactly 100 years since the government of the day commenced reshaping Monday and Tuesday Mass. Now the descendants of the people whose acts of rebellion created Carnival hold the ropes in the Juve Mass. An act that Tricanal accuses of creating an exclusionary space in which the rope guarders cannot afford to participate. Isn't that something? What? I think it's something. I think it's a big thing. Something wrong with the judging. The judging going to wreck Carnival if they haven't wrecked it yet. I'm not harping on it, but it's a sore point with me. And it's a sore point with me because Choctaws has been insulted. That's how I see it from Saturday in Abba. They insult the man.
But the question is, should culture be judged?
Well, I will let you decide that. Thank you kindly for mentioning that. The National Calypso competition, to me, slugs on in slow motion. Are you watching it Thursday night? Are you here? For me, Carnival done. I'm going to enjoy Monday and Tuesday. Me watching Mass. Competition lacks energy and requires singers to be politically correct to please the judges who don't know a damn thing about true Kaiso. Here the Calypsonians are permitted somewhat of a bark, but they, with a tiny exception, have lost their bite. The music is stagnant and boring, but no one complains about this except for a handful of singers who cannot get into the competition because they perceive their subjects are not taken seriously by the judges. Now even have 2 chords. Come up and crump with that. 2 chords. The only solution I see to correct this abomination is for the public to demand more creativity in Carnival. If you don't think that is possible, then please consider this. Money talks. And it talks the loudest when you don't take it out of your pocket. That's how I see it, folks. You may or may not agree. For many years now, our Carnival has declined into an ordinariness that makes it so unattractive, even Trinbagonians have abandoned it, opted instead to stay home at work and not even watch the telecast.
Or fly out.
Or fly out. And that is very, very sad. Feel free to sing along with me, please. Every year it's the same old thing.
Carnival day.
Carnival.
On the beach we going.
On the beach we going.
But this year, instead of the sun, I'll be jumping up.
I ain't even go ahead. With some young woman. The chorus. Yes, mommy, I'm going in town today. Tell daddy everything I say. Finish it for me, go ahead.
Evening breeze, well I ain't no none. I jumping like hell for the backline.
Oh yes, sir.
All right, all right. This madness, Mac William Sally. This year I hear costumes more pretty. Since I can't eat, I hear one of I will drink my rum and get in the mood. Yes, mommy, I'm going in down today. Tell daddy everything I say. He playing breeze. I know none. I'm jumping like hell when I reach it. Steel man, who leave you with child. Keep away from them, they too wild. You're a virgin, last week so it said. Ah, when the truth come out, I'll show you go there. Carnival, Hollis, where you going?
I'm having a wireless problem.
Alright, go on for your violin. In the earlies, you will notice, folks, you might say, lucky bumping all over the map. We have the origins, the peak, and the current. I'm doing a Quentin Tarantino thing and I'm taking all over the place. In the earlies, there was a man, Walter Railway Douglas, also known as Railway Douglas. Only sharp here. He formulated the idea of having the tent. The tent. The Calypso tent. Yeah.
Right.
And it was a success. It was a great build-up to Carnival. And in that tent had folks came and they enjoyed what they saw. It was lit by flambeau and it was very, very well received. And that idea went along through Walter Railway Douglas. And the tent as it is today, still in existence because of the name. It's not really a tent as such, it's a nice modern hall, bright lights, air conditioned and so. But the thing about the tent was that it separated the sheep from the goat. What do I mean by that? No. It separated the sheep from the goat because Calypsonians had to extempo. All of a sudden, oh, you're quiet. Oh, you're quiet. Don't be quiet, man. You're among friends. Right, I'm glad to say it. Sans humanity. Look at the board in case audio, for those of you who can read. It's about sans humanity. That does get me, you know. And people who know, ending their verse with saying this garbage. Sans humanity. This was the highlight of a tent, Carnival time. A special segment in any show that is dealing with calypso is the following, as you should know: the trinbago skill and extempo. Extempo is critical. It is a vital part of Carnival. So here is your chance. When you finish, you must say,
It's humanity.
moving right along, folks, you must see everybody shifting so nervous. Here's your chance to shine in the sun. Give it a try, it's only for fun. I'll now pick number one among the crowd. When he or she finish, please give an applaud. And so, with no further ado, my brother, I'll back you up on the guitar.
We won't laugh at.
In fact, if we have a question, time is a question, I want to ask maybe Professor Liverpool can answer it. But we go and put all we eggs in one basket, and plenty people say we shouldn't do it. Look what happened to Petrotrin. Now we catching we skin. They say we shouldn't put all the eggs in one, and we should have put it instead in two. And when I think about the mistake, I just want to number two.
Thank you, humanity.
Thank you.
Very good. That's all right. Well, yeah, getting away. This is the highlight of any show. That was very good indeed, pal. And you never had a dress rehearsal. Everything in place, you scored every line, and your lines were in rhyme. Let me give a call to whoever next. Let us see if they pass the test. So I called, and he's still around. David Seeker. Yes, sir? Wait, back up here.
Let me go on ass.
Here we go.
Well, I'm glad I come to the show. I don't know this thing when I work out nice, so I hope you invite me here again. I come in Monday morning or Tuesday evening. Boy, I like this and very short. I think you better hear that when you're in the court.
You might forget. Well, we moving right along, and the man who is next, he said his wishes name was Killiam, but I call on my friend Kenneth Williams. I do something.
Can I say that he doing something? Right now the man that he want to sing, but he tried to make an excuse. I think he can't make out the word, it is diffuse.
So right along, and we having fun in the town. This next man, if I don't call him, I'll get all the blames. And he's smiling because I'm calling on Mr. Jones. This fellow here?
Yeah.
Once again I come to this lecture. I really like what I hear. A whole lot of history. It benefited you and me. I wish it had a lot more youths in this lecture, but not so far. But this will benefit them in the future and their grandchildren.
Sounds good. Well, Hollis, you holding the mic. Need I say more, friend? Do extempo, man. You said no, the camera to film you, eh?
To film you? Run it, run it.
Well, ladies and gents, let's carry on. Because time marches on. I have no doubt that this man was about, but he is a Kaiso fan, and let us go with him. I'm calling without grumbling, Sergeant Dublin. So let's distract you here.
Thank you for extempo in this history of Calypso. I don't mean to fuss. I think the judges rough with the chalk up. But I ain't mean to fight. I know he gonna get a plenty match tonight. We go sing, we go shout, and at the end of the show. All right.
Now he's sitting there quietly, and it is good. I have no respect for this man. I mean, look, he went and see Robin Hood. And he grumbled about the $15 he paid. But today is his day, because I asked the young lady to give the microphone to Mr. Davidson. That gentleman there.
Mr. Faizabad.
Well, lucky.
Leave me out of your back.
He made me come back this year, but I really come without no fear. Mama, this is mass. Well, I feel I shouldn't play the. But I'm really having some fun with it. And
That's you, man.
I'll get there. Now there's a fella who's sitting quiet. He don't cause a riot. He's sitting so quietly that I forget my name is Lucky. He looking back as though it's a him. But I got news for you, so it's a sin. If you were saying extempo for me, sans humanity. Fella in the, behind that lady there in the island, yeah? Yeah, come on, friends, come on.
I'm not a good singer, but I will try to sing. If I don't sing, I don't sing my chorus, my children will think I'm sick. I like what I hear today, and I think that I like to play the guitar like Mr. Lucky is playing. Something money.
Now last time I gave plenty heck, I say, check. She tell me she wanted to sing. And I said, it come in. So in front of the row quietly, she saying, no. Give me that try now. We will call on Miss Passion. Take it back.
Mr. Lucky, you get me vexed. I want to send phone call and send text.
Alright.
Statement come to mama, this is mass. Just to hear if I talk savannah grass. As a young girl, I love that song. I love you still, don't get me wrong. I hear this afternoon, I will stay. Thank you, buddy.
Great segment, thank you. All the time she was in England, she come back to this land. And like Passion the last time we were here, she said, I was prepared. So let us hear from Without Bliss by Elvis.
Yes, ma'am.
It might be in tune, but tell me.
You saw him good already.
It's the Lucky, you are my youngest brother. We are so proud of you from your big sister. You're a musician, a lawyer, and a lecturer. I don't know what to say again about you, but where did you get this talent? It can be nowhere but from your big sister.
Thank you, Maggie.
Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, we heard from Andrew.
Yes.
But I said, without any remiss, we are in bliss, and I would be very derelict in my duty, and I know that I must. What rhymes with must?
Find a short dust.
Let's get from chalk dust.
Save the best for last.
Yes, you saved the last, you take the best for last. I came to hear Mama, this is Mass. I didn't come just there for so, but you're forcing me to extempo. Everybody knows you are my agent. And when I come here, I must get a cent. So when I sing any calypso, I expect it to get paid right here in the YouTube.
Money and he pay Santi money.
Ladies and gentlemen, as if you didn't know, we have in our presence a man who I think a keeper, and I would be derelict in my duty if I didn't invite the Calypso King of the world to address this gathering.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. I was in Tobago 2 weeks ago talking about Carnival. There's a lot of professors of course there. And when I spoke about Carnival, even though some of them were professors, many of them didn't know the history of Carnival. Carnival has such a great history. I spoke to the Providence School, there are teachers there, etc. And one of the reasons why the Carnival hasn't come to our children is because it hasn't come to the teachers as yet. So many of them don't know the history of the Carnival. So anytime I hear anybody speaking about Carnival, I have to find myself in its place. And I'm here because every time I hear Mama, this is Mass, I must be here. It has so much to do with our people, our culture, our whole development that I have to be here. if we look at the history of the carnival, I just want to say one point, just I don't want to take away the stale from Ainsley.
No, talk, man, talk.
About the carnival is that, sorry that we don't have a map, is that our people brought the carnival here, and when I did all my research about carnival, this carnival was brought here by our African brothers, but they brought it from West Africa. When you look at West Africa and all the carnivals in West Africa, the West Africans were from the Egyptians. Because the whole big Sahara desert there, and then across the Egyptians. So it is the Egyptians who have given us the carnival. And there are so many things in Egyptian history that you see carnival. From the floats, all the floats, all the kings, all the celebrations, the stick fighting, all of that you see in Egypt. And it's a good, sometimes a carnival is really a good thing to show Egyptian history. I remember one of his Egyptian lecturer talking about the word kaiso, I met him, and he was talking about the word kaiso, and he said it meant very good, well done. All that is Egyptian history. So one of the things about carnival for our children is that they ought to understand where it comes from. And we are unique in this country because most people talk about West African slavery, but they don't talk about East African slavery. And some of the East African slavery went across to India. And the Portuguese up there did the carnival. And many, many Indians came to Trinidad with the knowledge of carnival. Because the Indians in India learned some of the carnival and practiced some of the carnival from the Portuguese themselves. The Portuguese took it there by the Indians. So many of the Indians who came to Trinidad came here with a knowledge of the carnival. That's why they play that mass, the Sumari mass, etc. So we are in a very unique position. Sometimes we ask our students then, why is carnival taking root in Trinidad? And it took root in Trinidad because we have so many people, so many people from different cultures coming and in this country. So it's a pleasure to be here. I would like one of these days to come and probably give a talk on carnival, some aspect of the carnival. Yes, we are like to really come and give some aspect of carnival because you're touching on some really important things here. That's what they call Cliff Alexis, for example, who just died. Cliff was in Chicago, and Cliff took the steel band to Chicago, and Cliff brought all those students up there. Today, many of our students there are who have studied, getting their masters through Cliff Alexis, bringing the pan and using the pan, because leaving UWI, using the pan to give people degrees in music. Cliff Alexis, he just died a few weeks ago. He's a wonderful guy. And there are so many of them who have done so much for our students. I'm concerned with education, and I like to use children to give children that grounding for them to see the carnival. I fully agree with you that we have lost so many aspects of the carnival, have gone astray. And the calypso, for example, a lot of the things have gone astray. I don't want to talk about it because when I talk, some people say that because I did. But we have, the reason for this destruction by the judges is that the judges, for years, they need to go into the classroom. And because they're not in the classroom, they can't understand it. I was talking to Joe Newell-Williams last week, and she was telling me, and I told her that one of the best things she had ever done is to give me the time in 2006. She allowed me to run a training program for Calypsonians. I ran the training program for 1 year. I put all of them in a classroom for 1 year, and they had to come to meet me every Sunday in St. Anne's. And today, after having them for 1 year, today's Calypsonians came from that classroom. Sean Daniel, Bodyguard, Twiggy, Lady Adana, Lady Victoria, Tobago Chalky. That's where they started. And we studied Carnival for 1 year. Every Sunday, and we looked at the Calypso for 1 year. And then they could understand it. Then they understand the Carnival. So that those Calypsonians, they're going to a classroom. Today, that's what is needed. What is needed is for the judges to go to the classroom. I'll give you a simple example. I did a talk in Tobago. I had a talk in Tobago, training the Calypsonians. And I was marking on the board, just two notes, and we sang two tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I marked it down, and I have some syncopation. Bam, 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 bam. Lovely. Let's break it down to the 4 now. Bam, 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 bam. Nice. Let's say ta 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 ta. Right then, ta ta breaking all this syncopation. And I'm marking on the board. And all the students get it. All got it. Except one person. And the students laughing at the man. So I told him, I said, don't laugh at him. Let's try again. Don't laugh at him. He'll get it. Let's go again. And students laughing at the man. The man can't get it. He can't get he can't break up the syllable. All where we do, he can't break it up. And they laugh. And I say, if when they laugh, I go in. Don't laugh at the man. Then the students tell me instantly, Prof, don't laugh now. We must laugh. I say, why you must laugh at the man? He said, he's the chief judge. The chief judge can't go tap. On my score sheet last year, one judge spelled the word right. The word eulogy. I did a eulogy for William, the president. One judge spelled it right. I have a score sheet there, I'm sure this will afterwards. A man can't spell emptiness, he's a judge. He can't spell that. And next one have look at there, I'll show this score sheet. He's the judge. He can't say he has, but he have or something.
Green words.
So that the judges need training. I just forget them. The judges need training. One fellow write on my score sheet there, he said that I don't have it, it's shallow. Let me give you one verse in the calypso. One verse. And he tell me how I'm shallow and he can't stop that saying one verse. And he's the judge, yeah?
You want to get up?
No, it's alright. Okay, why don't you? Let me give one verse. Some oil workers down Point 14 stopped me and started quarreling. Chucky, when last you're going to sing, time to close up like petrol trim. Chucky is 9 times that you win. What more you want from the damn thing? Like you see Kaiso dying. Kaiso today saying nothing. And you're wasting time. Your Kaiso line ain't worth a diamond. And your government ain't give you tent, not one black cent. Well, here what's my answer. Now that Gary Griffith on the go. Locking up cockroach and mosquito. Until Gary hold all them kobo. You bringing goods. All in Gary hold all them kobo. Laundering we bread the tea from Clico. Hiding it in car parts and casino. I must think I so. Till all them judges and lawyers believe. Daily. Stop hounding out Chief Justice Archie. A good one for you. No court ever proved that Archie guilty of anything nasty, so to defend the black man's ego, I must think I so. And let me tell you more, to make sure that Donald Trump go, I must think I so.
I know you were in Tobago, and you always in Tobago, right? How is it that we now hear about Tobago choking? What is the connection, sort of? Yes, I'd like to.
I'm glad you asked that question. What Tobago choking? I'm glad you asked the question. Tobago choking started in the training program in St. Anthony's. He came across here. He had liked Calypso, he liked me. And he came across and he called himself Tobago choking. So he started off like a Calypsos and he took the name Tobago choking. He sang in the semi-final and placed 5th. I sang in the semi-final, I placed 23rd. When I went to Tobago, I met Tobago choking. He said, come and hear this Calypso. He sang Calypso for me about travel advisory. I tell him it's a good Calypso, but it needs punch. You can't say Trinidad is a nice country, that's no punch. Trinidad is a nice country. I say, where your punch line? Say something, Trinidad is the best roti, Trinidad is the best so-and-so. Put something to make it get punch, develop it. Say Trinidad is the best guitarist, Trinidad is the best soursop. And then we can't come and say, no, Trinidad is a nice country. You know, you get in and you put me out. They put it in. And I tell me, I said, it's so good, but it needs punch. They put it in, they put it out.
You are always
I told Ainsley, I said, Ainsley, yesterday, I said, I have nothing against anybody, like Maria Bola and them, I have nothing against them. But if I had known that I'd be put out of a competition and a calypso could beat me, where you come in and sing about drink some orange peel tea to stop me from passing wind. If that beat me in calypso, what are you doing then? If I had known that, I would never be a calypso.
Of course you may.
Give him the mic.
Turn and face your audience, sir.
Okay, I have been studying the works of Professor Chokdas for many years. Two questions I would like to ask you, Professor. One, the future of lyrics in this country, because there's a lot of mess they're singing now, right? Once it sounds good, and once you could dance and whine, that's good, right? I know you mentioned about certain lyrics and they say it's SH, I don't want to complete it, lyrics, right? And I have always honored you as a master calypsonian. Question number one, what do you think we can do to improve the lyrical content of calypsos? Question number two, I think it was you who you talked about, I think you sang about the Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, and you said something to the effect that, let me see if I can remember it, it was so many years. Afraid, did you sing that?
Yeah.
I always wanted to know what you meant when you said, afraid, afraid, I think I understand what you meant, but I want to hear it from you, from your mouth, what you meant by that. Thank you very much, sir.
They say you talk best. It's always said that you talk best when you answer questions.
Sure, please, please. Audience participation.
The first part, lyrics. The beauty of the calypso in years gone by was the lyrics of the calypso. It is the people came to hear lyrics. People came to something going on in San Fernando. How do you put that? A man get licked down in San Fernando with a cutlass. How do you put that in lyrics? That was the beauty of the calypso. So it is the lyrical ability of the calypsonians that made them good. And some of our calypsonians have said some things no Englishman could say. In other words, if we put some of those lyrics for those unadvised children, for those children, and we have some, sometimes you want to know where they come from. Let me get 2, 3.
Please.
Black Stallion, because he's sick now. Wearing dashiki is fine, but changing your clothes doesn't change your mind. Powerful. So you put on the emancipation, he said, but your mind, that don't make you African. Changing your clothes doesn't change your mind. Valentino. But when Ash Wednesday come and pass, the people just go back to their race and class. So the only thing to keep them together is mass. Unity. I told a professor who was giving me some trouble in UT once. I said, everybody listen to Valentino? He said, no, I think birds that fly high must come down to die. Yep. all the big thing you're making, you had to come down. Valentino, birds that fly high, one day come down to die. So true. I want the best, the one I like most is Lord Pretender. Pretender. Listen to Pretender. Woman, the masterpiece of God's creation plan. In other words, of all what God has made, nothing to beat a woman.
Except Eve.
The highest thing. No, I'm serious now. I ain't making a joke. The highest thing that God has made, the greatest thing that God has made, is a woman. I want to hear some of that. No BWI playing, nothing at all that we make in the world is more important than a woman. I said, and Peter said that. These are some of the things that Clifton have said. Clifton have said something you won't know. Where did it from? Great things. So to answer your question, lyrics was the thing. Lyrics was the thing. Spence, a fellow called Spence was sent away from he said in charge of the lecture board.
Yes.
And the fellow said, he said that it is the essence of common, the man name was Mr. Spence. Clifton says, it is the essence of common sense to dispense with Spence at any expense. So to answer your question, people came to hear lyrics. Second question you asked, afraid car. My partner just died. We pick up. And I teach in Cuba Secondary. Both of us teach in Cuba Secondary. And I go along with him. And he watched me and said, Chuck, who made that calypso? I said, what you say? He said, who made that calypso? Africa, Africa. I'm talking about you, Baron of Maraval. Who made that? I said, really give me a chance. You cannot back no in the evening. Chucky, who make Africa? And then he put him on the car, you know. So I want to custom and put him on the car. That's troops. When they by tongue, but go down the tongue now. Chucky, who made that calypso? So I will tell Rudy. I said, Rudy, give me a chance. He said, I don't make the calypso. I said, who made the calypso? He said, God made that. Say, you couldn't make that. That is God's work. Baron of Maraval. So when I was talking about Carl, because Carl was the man who helped to pass the bill, the Sedition, and then came the Sedition Act. And Carl was the man. And I was trying to tell people that Carl was so powerful in our Equivalence army that we have to be very, and then he went to Grenada. And you have to be very, very scared of him because of what if we lose the right to vote and lose the right of freedom of speech and lose the right to go in the court and we lose all those sides, we're in trouble. So I was just warning people that with that Sedition Act, etc., we can't afford to lose these things. And I met Carl once, years afterwards, and Carl had a big button on the jacket pocket. Big button. He said, come and read this. And I went up. And the button was, Carl ain't afraid. Carl afraid. So that calypso, Afraid Carl, was one right. It was an old calypso, but it's a very important calypso. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I have a very important question for the maestro, but before, I just want to bring something what you just said about woman, meaning the creation. I have a very good friend, Andrew knowing well too, Lassalle, who from Jamaica, man of great wisdom. And I can't speak the Jamaican too well, but it's simple, David. The nicest thing that God ever make for man, a woman, you know. He make plenty things, but the nicest thing he make for man is a woman. But I said, why you say that? He said, why if you make anything nicer, he don't give it, but he keep it for himself. Now, the question I want to ask you that, what you said was so important, and not only for judging calypsos, but all judges, in my opinion, should have some kind of formal training, because it's an important part they're going to play, right, in what they're going to do. Now, that being said, we have a number of people in these countries who know so much about the art form, about the history, and they know in depth about the culture and everything. What is the problem with finding these people and selecting these people who are already qualified, who are already the dons, and could close their eye and could judge fairly? What is the problem?
That's a beautiful question, because I've been trying for years to get to the judges, and I've been asking to quote all of them, and they would quote me. I've been trying to get them in the classroom to talk to them. You can't bring people to judge calypso and give them half an hour work. Every year they have new judges and two communities and developers and little teachers and things to come and for half an hour and then put them to judge calypso. Let me give you a true example. I'm at a girl one day. Mr. Pull out the judge Calypso. I said, apply to Tuko. She said, but I know nothing about Calypso, you know. I said, well, you have to go and ask Tuko and they'll give you another training session. So she go on into Tuko. I didn't know. I said in the Skinner Park, I told her ages already. I said, no, she can't be judging. She just tell me she ain't not my Calypso. So what I say, you know, I said the girl judging me. I ain't joking that.
She wasn't pulling your leg?
I'm very serious. Then there's Nantambu. Nantambu has a doctorate in history. Nantambu went and judged. He asked me, and Nantambu, and the people who have a doctorate, they took him. He judged well, he's my neighbor. He judged well. You know, he tell me after? He says, Chalky, nobody without a degree should judge Calypso.
True. That's true.
Nobody without a degree should judge Calypso. It has too much things in Calypso.
Complex.
It's too you have to have education. Because them fellas who singing about architecture, law, this, all kind of things they sing about. And you ain't not for that. Unless you have education, unless you have a degree at least, you can't judge Calypso. You can't judge it. Let me give a simple example. I'm Antigua. And Short Shirt, this is 1974-75, eh? Short Shirt singing. And Short Shirt beat Short Shirt. Swallow beat Short Shirt. Short Shirt sing, show me the way to utopia. I got to be there. I got to be free. Show me the way to utopia. U-T-O-P-I-A. Meaning a utopia is a haven, a beautiful place. Show me the way. He said too much hard work in Antigua, too much pressure. There must be a utopia for people.
Right.
Swallow come and sing, push here. And push here is a slang when you're having sex. So you say, well, I can't big, I want to push here. I want to push there. I want to push here. You want to have sex all over the place. Push here, push here, push there. The next one, push there. He come first. Swallow come first. Short Shirt come third. So I having breakfast in the morning in the hotel, big hotel, having breakfast. I see Mr. Walton come now. I shouldn't call his name. Walton, he was the Prime Minister. He and his party. He come. They having breakfast down the road there. I hear. How are you going, Chalky? I said, fine. Let's come to Chalky, you know. How are you going, Chalky? I said, fine. You like the Calypso last night? I said, yes. He said, you love Swallow, eh? He telling me that. You love Swallow, eh? I said, why you ask that? He said, because he was the greatest thing last night. I said, sir, could I talk to you? He said, sure. I said, how could he beat Short Shirt? Show me the way to utopia. He's the Prime Minister. Hear the Prime Minister tell me. Prime Minister. He said, Jackie, this is Antigua, this is not Ethiopia. He is the Prime Minister. You have to have educated people. You have to have educated people. I can call this fellow name now because he died. Jonah Regis. Jonah Regis was the chief of the judges in Trinidad. And Valentino Silva Calypso. Life is a stage. We are the actors. And everybody has a part to play. I can never end in movie, etc. They put Valentino come 6. And the 5th was 6. So I made Jonah Regis chief judge. I said, oh, look at Valentino 6. Look at that Calypso at least deserve more. He said, Chalky Van Beaver said, no man. I said, Mr. Regis, that could make more. He said, guys, so good, you know. When Valentino read by the part where he don't like the part to play and he throw a child. And the part when he throw away a child. Valentino, I see Valentino smoke weed. He said, that's chopping this, he's saying. And he's the chief judge, you know. What Valentino was saying, life is a stage. And when you kill the child in the womb, you rob the child of his part to play in life.
According to the part that you play, the master will pay.
You know, he tell me Valentino said he's chopping this. He said, Valentino like he smoke weed. He don't understand. And he's the chief judge. And he don't understand. I bring a horse last year on the stage. One judge asked me, you spoil the thing, man. Where you bring the horse for? The horse is assigned in the day when colonels died. And they bring a white horse. Because our president died. He ain't know the me and the horse. He asked me that. So that to answer your question, too many stupid people judging calypso. Not as stupid, but it's that they are trained. They lack of knowledge. And when you lack knowledge, you mark down people. So that I have been telling to go on. We have to insist that judges be trained, not just in calypso, but in trained generally to understand life, what it means, to understand the meaning of words, measurement. That's the next thing. When I go home, check the calypso and see measurement. In calypso, measurement, you must see. If it is not measured, you can't sing it. No. 4, 6, 8, 9. Because I go. Krishna called me and I must go. Say, tell crazy. The calypso of a bad meter. Krishna says so, calypso of a bad meter. But I ain't see it. But I can't tell Krishna, I ain't see it. I say, oh yes, I see it, I see it. I say, you're a bad meter. But I ain't see it, so I leave Krishna and say, where the bad meter is, boy? And I ain't coming back until I finish it. I ain't see that minute. When I go in it, why am I so much here? I lie down in it and I study it. Wait, Krishna see this bad meter? It's after I play and I play and I play with it. Watch it, watch. Papa da pa da pa, Papa 3 da 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 4, and a 5 and a 6 until a 7. You don't have 7 things in music. You don't have 7 bars in music. Say either 8 or 4 or 10 or 12. You don't have odd numbers in music. What's again? 1, 2, Papa 3 da 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 4, and a 5 and a 6 and a 7. You know Krishna see that? You know Krishna feel that? You know me I feel it? You know the whole world I feel it? You know the whole Trinidad I feel it? You know Krishna feel it? What should it be? It should be Papa da pa da pa, Papa da pa da pa da pa, and I ain't coming back until I go home and finish it. Then you can eat. And Krishna feel that. And the musicians, nobody ain't feel that. What happens today is that when them fellas make bad meter, the band will say, ba-da, 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 ba-da. And they put it up. All them young fellas singing, they're singing 3 and 4, 5. Instead of saying, they listen, ba-ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Tell the man, ba-da-ba-da-da-da. That's what happened. Because they're singing bad meter. And they're singing some long, some short. Especially soca fellas. What? Soca fellas. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You want to hear? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, you measure. They say da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All kind of things. Because they have no measurement. No measurement. And if you listen to them, or if I criticize them, you know they're going to say, Chalky, really this and that. So I just say nothing, but the fellas need training. Silent night, holy night. You see the measurement? All is calm, all is bright. See the measurement? Brown, young, it's a measure thing. What you saying? So if you sing silent night, you want to hear holy night. See the measure? But them singing silent night. And that passing for soca. So they think not only the mass gone, the measurement gone, the lyrics gone, all the beautiful lyrics of yesterday are gone. Why? Because the fellas don't know. They don't know. They're ignorant of what is the calypso, and they're ignorant of the rhyming scheme. I was hearing some children singing just now, Junior coming along here. You talk about bad rhyming. They're not rhyming. You have to rhyme in calypso, and you have to rhyme and make sense. Yes. And the hard thing about it is that you get a word to rhyme, but if it don't make sense, you have to change it. Yes. Because it must make sense. Yeah, it can make sense. I went and judged a competition was teachers singing. Teachers singing it. So they asked me the judge. A teacher singing about the English language. Here the teacher. This English language is sweet like a corned beef sandwich.
Don't make sense.
Don't make sense. But most of the young Calypsonians just rhyme. And many of them don't make no sense. They're just looking for words to rhyme.
Make sense?
No sense, that's possible. That's what I'm talking about. That's not no question.
I know we're fighting again, but I wish that he could find time and if he could have the patience to bring back morality, integrity, and sense in Calypso, because right now there's a lot of SHIT.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And I am thinking about the future generation. I am thinking about my great-grandchildren and so on. When you're thinking that people singing all kind of stupidness today, these young Calypsonians. So I'm asking Mr. Chalkbloss and the rest of you, if you could fight this battle, we'll have to sit down and have a meeting, how we could work it out, because it's too much of stupid. And if it is has deteriorated today, next 10 years, Calypso will be more than that age. Right? So we want to bring it back to what it was originally, and I want to bring a moral integrity and sense slant to it. And I wish you all could support me in this, so we could bring it back to what it was, and even better than what it was. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for Professor Liverpool.
What we just hear, we can't buy it.
Yeah.
Can't buy it. Let me share some quotes with you, ladies and gentlemen. Fret and Bacchanal, who the devil can stop Creole Carnival? Growling Tiger said. You got the great big long wall in China and the Indian Taj Mahal. I know that the greatest wonder of them all is my Trinidad Carnival. Douglas said, mighty good. An interesting thing, speaking about acceptance, I sketch. And I sketched a picture that was in the papers of Growler in a tent, 1940. And no microphone, Growler standing up, there was a wooden railing, he had the band behind him. Marge brothers from Guyana were backing him up. You know what I'm talking about, Professor. And I sketched that picture. Huh? Mucho. You see, that's why the man come to correct me. A teacher forever. I sketched that. And I told somebody, I said, in 1940, if somebody told Growler, in 2019, somebody will be sketching you, what do you think Growler will say? Growler will say, you're talking junk. That is the moment. So we have to accept them. Some more quotes. Beads and plumes of different descriptions, velvet and satin, don't talk about swan's down. And when these costumes all blend together, like stars in the sky, they begin to glitter. Terror said that. And tell me who said this. In this nationalistic struggle, I am confident that the man of culture has an important role and that the political leader can only succeed by enlisting culture in the struggle and placing it in the vanguard of the nationalistic movement.
And I'm saying so myself, and if you don't like it, you can get up and go.
You can do what? You can do what?
Get up and go.
Folks, time has come along, unfortunately. I say that we can go until 5:30. Absolutely. No, you're a microphone.
Do you know what Columbus saw when he landed on this Irish shore? He saw the hummingbirds with their wings of gold. And the starlight shining so bold, he was so glad. He called the island Trinidad. Calypso.
I have a quick question, in my extempo, about putting all our eggs in one basket. Maybe, Professor, you can answer it. Did we, Trinidad and Tobago, miss the boat by not promoting Calypso as they should have? Because of all the oil happiness that we enjoyed, we got the eggs in one basket, right? Now, did we miss the boat by not marketing Calypso as we should have? Because I remember, well, I'm older than most people here. In the 60s, wherever I went, I traveled a lot because my wife worked with the airline and we traveled a lot. And wherever you went, and you say, yeah, I'm from Trinidad, what's the first thing they will say? Sing a calypso. Sing a calypso. And we missed the boat because we didn't market it enough because oil was king. And for instance, Hot, 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 right? That became an international bestseller. And we have produced, including you, Professor, many calypsos that could have hit the whole world like Hot, Hot, Hot. When I went to Australia, and I jump in the taxi and we're going down the road, you know, it's the first tune come on the radio? Hot, Hot, Hot. Right? Same thing all over the islands. It was calypso, and the tourists going to all the other islands, and what they're expecting, calypso. When I first went to Jamaica in the early 60s, when Mr. Reggae wasn't king and popular all over the world as it is now, when you go to the hotels, what the Jamaicans were singing? Calypso, 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 and as a little joke I would like to give you. The band in the Hilton Montego Bay, right, Jamaicans, singing nice calypsos, and the old timer who was head of the whole band, you know, I talked to him, and during the little intermission, I say, you're singing the calypsos nice? He challenged me. He said, you can't name a calypso that I can't sing. What? Imagine that. Yeah. The Jamaicans knew all our calypsos. So I make a little joke, and I call a few, and he sing all of them for me. And I say, hit my Gene and Dinah. You remember the old days, how popular Gene and Dinah was? And he started out. I'll just give you the first line to the little, what I thought was a joke, how he pronounced a word. He said, Gene and Dinah, Rosita and Clementina. And the old timer sang the whole thing. So we missed the boat badly by our past governments not promoting our calypso. You would have been a household name in Australia, all about too, if we had promoted calypso as we should have. Thank you.
And when you go away from this country, once they will say,
sing a kaiso for me, beat a pan, make some pella or roti. So that is right, here you will find your identity. And to answer this question also, I went to Cuba, and I have the privilege of talking to Castro, president of Cuba. I had the privilege of our director of culture, and I went there. I had the privilege of him. And you know what he told me? He said, Mr. Liverpool, Dr. Liverpool, wherever I go, before they hear me, they hear Cuba. And it was, I carry Cuba first. He said, I soften them up with culture, and then I spoke. When I went trade, he said, I soften them up with culture first. And then I said, I want to get to $2 million and so and so. He said, they always give me, because I soften them up with culture first.
Very good.
You know, wherever he goes, to trade anything, culture first. And then he said, ask them what you want. Castro.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
It's the black man who say, before you sing for the man, you have to sing for the land.
Yes.
Black salad. Let us pray for the man. Juve is a time to subvert all sense of what is considered decent by letting go of the self-conscious body image. Rachel Espinay said that. I hear a death knell for Carnival. I hate to say it. I don't participate in Carnival, I love Pan, and I live here. But when I heard National Carnival Commission Chairman Winston Gypsy Peters and former Chairman Colin Lucas speaking on 95.5 last week Saturday about the Carnival launch, I scratched my beard and I wondered why. To me, it reeked of corruption. And corruption in the mass is endemic as a result of a lack of transparency and accountability and nepotism at the helm. Again, I'm repeating myself like a decimal point. But the Queen's Park Savannah stands have remained empty. The number of patrons have declined. That's not news, definitely not. And desperation is the reason I believe that this year the band leaders at the stadium opened the stadium for free, competing with the Queen's Park Savannah. Trainees like freeness. Charge them next year, you see. Charge them to come to this lecture and you'll have to take down all them shelves and put seats over there. And I want you to tell people who promised that you'd come what they missed today. There was a time when San Fernando was the mecca of Carnival. Yes. People came, now this was before Point 14 had a civil day and Arima had a mass and Labrie had a mass and whatever. Carnival was Port of Spain, San Fernando, in Trinidad. People came from far and wide to San Fernando for Carnival. There was a time when the indoors did not participate as such. They'd rather be spectators. And where we live, across the road, you would see Carnival Day. They would picnic across the road by the Presbyterian Church. And as a band passed, they would run down and look over the wall there, watch the band and go back to their picnic. That continued for years until one year tragedy struck. I don't know if you remember, Mrs. Homer. The wall collapsed. And it hurt a lot of people. Right up there, Coffee Street. The wall collapsed, they were leaning over watching, and they weakened the foundation as the years went by. And it collapsed. That soured the Carnival. But people came from far and wide. Now that's happening. Now Port of Spain is Carnival City. And San Fernando is a ghost town. And Junior Regalo is bemoaning the fact he has no money and the incentive is gone. It is really sad the way it's going. As I said, I thank the Lord above that I experienced it when Mass was Mass. Which incidentally is the name of a classic by Professor Liverpool. When Mass was Mass. I'm looking at the clock here. Calypsonians descended in San Fernando. To good measure too. I want to help with this. I can't take this pressure. It's too hard to mention. Port of Spain too small for the Carnival. You know what will happen. 1977 is people like rain. Street hot, Henry Street hot, Prince Street hot. Yeah! The chorus, Dave.
San Fernando, we have plenty tempo. Orchestra jamming sweet. I'm going to join San Fernandians and go on Coffee Street to give it more tempo.
Take the chorus by yourself, go on.
San Fernando, don't they have plenty tempo? I can see the orchestra jamming sweet. I'm going to join San Fernandians and go on Coffee Street to give me more tempo.
We have the Queen of Calypso, we have the King of Calypso. MacArthur Lewis, much to her credit, she beat cancer twice.
Now she wants a young boy.
Now she wants a young boy. I want to leave whatever this thought. I sing it a cappella.
You're ready and ready, boy.
I'm ready and ready. The sun is descending.
Kitchen up.
The moon is approaching.
Carnival
and the crowd is gone. It seems like nobody is interested to carry on. This, by the way, was Kitchener's favorite calypso. Yeah. Well, the stand looks like a wooden shed after a storm. Not a band nor a clown can be seen to perform. Listen, Akira. All I can see is some broken old bottles so far. An indication. Help me.
The carnival is over.
La-de-da-de. Where is all that music that sounded so terrific? I would like to know. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Hey! Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. The sweet, sweet saxophone, the pan and the trombone, and so ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. What is wrong? Like the tourists and all disappear. Not a band, nor a mask could be seen anywhere. Where is the sound of a drum or a bass, a guitar? Take it, David. An indication. Take it, David. I'll get you Kitchener once here. Beats back Savannah. He's singing Miss Sober's Iron. Who know that? Well, they hold me in a band until me this dead iron. Mr. Sober's, the iron too cold. And Kitchener cooking. Baba there, and he forget the lyrics. But you hear Mr. Beach? Yeah. Baba there, we have the big top, top, top. You hear Mr. Beat? Nice guy, Sonia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is too bad the youngsters, more youngsters, were not here today. Because they have been deprived of being present with the mighty chokers.
Permission, would you disagree for a second question?
Make it a short second. Come, you're looking at the clock.
Yeah, right. What was the reason?
Use the mic, please.
Why the Mecca of Calypso changed from San Fernando to Prados Point? Because you said that the Mecca was in San Fernando.
It was, definitely.
Right, but what was the main factor, or what were the factors that caused the center of gravity to be transferred from the...
You want to say that, Professor?
The San Fernando.
Why the migration from San Fernando to Port of Spain for Carnival?
The crowds are just all the great Calypsos long ago came from San Fernando, and after they came from San Fernando, Southern men had the cream of the crop was taken and put in Kitchener's tent. Most of those boys, some King Duke, all of them came from San Fernando, and they were the Mecca. Or the crowds and the flashiness and then Sparrow tongue. Everybody wanted to sing with OIB. Everybody was singing on the Sparrow Kitchener.
And the OIB is?
The OIB was Sparrow, Original Young Brigade, and Kitchener's Review. And because of the two of them put in and paying a little more money, etc., and they came up here. But most of the good Calypsos came from San Fernando. A lot of them,
Did you revive the history of San Fernando? There were tremendous men from San Fernando. In fact, the first Olympic medalist was Rodney Wills.
Rodney Wills, yeah.
I wish if you could revive the history of
Somebody
San
should run nice Calypso in San Fernando. Great contribution.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, young boy.
Let me say I like to confirm the mighty chong, does it? Big stars and them were making you great. Nearly all of them from the Southern Brigade. That San Fernando Carnival, make it bacchanal for the festival. When Pond and Claire get beat, coming down Coffee Street, they're so sweet, people chopping all day.
Carnival was stuck on one occasion, and it was postponed on one occasion. It was stopped during World War II, and in 1972, TNT was believed with a deadly outbreak of polio, prompting the government of the day to seek an alternative date.
Rainfall.
It was decided by Parliament to decree that the national festival for that year be celebrated in May. Sparrow sang the words and music of Mr. Winsford Joker Divine. Allow me. I was writing day to day, problems they had last year. To me, really, it was a minor affair. But they really fight, I say, February, March, and May, because of a silly argument called Carnival Day. Can you worry? Say, don't ask me. I got New Year's Day, no one can take away. February, ring CDC and say, how the hell you could leave me and March and put Carnival to play? Then kitchen answer him, well, the moon and the fox and they say and they bruise and they cuss and they say this is a trip. Well, they down and they blast and they say they hope it ain't true. Well, they're doing cancel, we jump up 1972. Take it chorus.
Mama, yeah, you don't get it.
Oh, masqueraders on me. They didn't care if it was official, but they started to beats on the street. And they started to jump around. Down! 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 You see you again. What would I come in the Carnival, rain come and wash up my sleigh. That was when Kaiso was Kaiso. In them days, you would have Melody walking around telling people in Port of Spain, Sparrow dead, Sparrow dead. Yeah. Which prompted Sparrow to sing, yeah. Who killed the Sparrow? Nobody knows. Sparrow dead. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a hell of a time.
Not by yourself.
Librarians, to doing this again.
Yes.
Very soon.
On my sketch on the board, I use Kitchener as the bookends. So I think it fitting to end with a Kitchener classic. And when I tell the young people that what they're seeing today, well not today, next week, Monday and Tuesday, in no way holds a torch to what we grew up in. You know, watch me as though I'm crazy, because they don't know. And what they don't know, they will deny. They will ask me why I say that. And I will tell them that they miss a hell of a lot and they ruin the art form. Yeah. Because the vans will be passing down Frederick Street where the ping pong beat and the music sweet, and they will march merrily to the savannah. Oh, come on, man. No one ever said. Thanks to you. And Kitchener, Mama, this is mass. I say it's mass of class. And this I cannot show is what we hoping for. We have no fight, no fuss. Visitors can join with us and jump up in Bacchanal and enjoy the carnival, because the bands will be passing down Frederick Street with a ping pong beat in the burning heat, and they will march merrily to the savannah. There's rumors around that every band in town will surely end their fun when they see sun going down. I shout, there's no dispute, the nation will follow suit, play the mass within the law for a splendid 64, because the bands will be passing down Frederick Street in the burning heat, where the music's sweet, and we will march merrily to the savannah. No one. Carnival is strictly considered. Last verse. When you musketeer, you got to look for me. For though I am a band, hugging man, woman, and if he get to know, you have to let him go. Have to wait until I play to get you back on Ash Wednesday, because the bands will be passing down Frederick Street when they ping pong beat murder in the burning heat fire, and they will march merrily to the savannah. Carnival is because one more time, because the band will be passing down Frederick Street in the burning heat, and we go march merrily to the savannah. No one aggressive. Carnival is strictly considered. One more time. Because the bands will be passing down Frederick Street in the burning heat, and the music sweet, and we will march merrily to the savannah. No one aggressive. Carnival is strictly considered. One more time. One more time. The bands will be passing down Frederick Street when a ping pong beat and the music sweet, and we go march merrily to the savannah. No one aggressive. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an extreme pleasure. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us, thank you very, very much for your preparation, for your lecture, for your delivery, for your entertainment, etc. Of course, a lecture on Carnival could be a very boring thing. It could be very, very boring, and yet you brought a sort of life to it, you brought a guitar to it, etc. And it's something that most professors don't do. And they can't bring that interest into the lectures. And so for us to learn, they must have interest. So I want to thank you very, very much for your interesting lecture.
For enlightening us, because we learned a lot. So I must say, I know you are from North, and it was nice of you, because South people will always go North, but North people find South is too far. They don't cross the Carnegie Bridge, they find that's enough. So I learned a lot from you, and I must say, may God give you many more years to teach us more.